Good day and welcome to JCTV Africa. My name is Marvelous Lamini. Thank you so much for joining us. This is our daily roundup, and you know that we bring you the trending stories from around Harare and just across Zimbabwe, and we're doing this roundup in
Chiwenga, Makoni.
Exactly. Yeah. So, you know, we just travel around Harare just to see what's going on and just to check and do our daily roundup anyway. Yeah. So we can just do it anywhere as long as it's around Harare, and it's really a good place. And anyways, how has been your day?
My day has been good. We know there's this talk that we had in the morning about the people doing impulse buying on the in the Zik. We're still to ascertain that, but we had come here for other engagements, but it's great that we are doing it here in my hometown.
Oh yeah, that's very biased of you, but anyways, this is our daily roundup. Thank you so much for joining us. And today the stories that we're rounding up with, you know, there's been a lot going on, especially online, about the remarks that the vice president Chiwenga made about the former opposition leader, that is Nelson Chamisa. I was saying that Chamisa is politically immature, and you know, apparently say that he should go and start eating cattle or goats or something like that. What's your take on that?
Yeah, it is disingenuous, but there's some element of truth in the way our opposition have carried themselves, especially with looking at Nelson Chamisa in the past, I don't know how many years. But coming back to the story that you have asked me, I really think that the ruling party should be able to cohabit with opposition if they want to unite a nation, because they are also ruling the people that support Nelson Chamisa. So doing that, as much as it is a jibe or a political mileage that they are getting, but in the end, it is actually polarizing the people. But coming back to the issue of how opposition have carried themselves in the past few years, or in the past 20 years to be exact, as much as we have the problem of the ruling party being too aggressive on opposition leaders, I also think that they also played a part in not being mature in the way how they handle their politics. And he could be right, but the way how it was approached, it does not guarantee such remarks from a second head of state. Yeah,
that's true. And then we're looking at it from the side that, you know, right now we're approaching by elections.
Yes. You
know, where these parties are supposed to be contesting just to try and replace the people that resigned in terms of the Harare East constituency, and these remarks are being made. And you know, at the end of the day, maybe I think it also makes the chances for the opposition slimmer for them to actually win. And now we're looking at the confusion that is there, to say people now they're not going to know to say exactly whom are we voting for, and how is it working, how is CCC actually organized and something like that. And I think that's why the ruling party continuously makes fun of the opposition, because of that, you know, disorganization that is there when it comes to them as a political party. Yeah, and I think they still have a long way in terms of organizing themselves and coming to the people and now ascertaining to say, this is who we are and this is our leader, and or maybe we're creating a new opposition party, this is what we're doing. But as long as they come clear to the people and explain what is going on, you know, we're still going to have that confusion. And at the end of the day, we have a lot of people going to ZANU-PF because there seems to be a lot of organization on that end. But then on our other story, I was just looking at the Warren Hills graves that are supposedly said to be being vandalized by things that are not seen, you know, where you just wake up and the graves are vandalized.
Yeah, that, as mysterious as it is, but it also paints a picture on how we value tombstones. We have seen crazy kind of tombstones that we see, especially to our African brothers and sisters, and how much money that we invest in making tombstones for the deceased when we had not been taking care of them when they were still alive. You'll see people buying expensive coffins for the deceased, but they don't do that for them when they are seeking medical attention. So sometimes you then wonder, where is our priorities when you have spent so much money only that tombstone to be vandalized, and you have to spend another set of going to another expense of having to repair those graves. So for me, we need to relook at how we spend for the departed, because in some instances we're just spending money that we don't need to spend.
Yeah, and like you said, it's very mysterious, and I'm sure that maybe as time goes by, we'll actually be able to ascertain, would say, what is happening, who or what is actually vandalizing these graphs, and maybe we'll be able to actually talk about it again to say if it's someone or if it's something that is vandalizing, we'll be able also to talk about it. And then the last story that I want us to discuss is that the 30 Malawians that were arrested on the fact that they didn't have legal documents to actually be staying in Zimbabwe.
Yes. You know, when we talk about xenophobia, having stayed in South Africa for 14 years, I know how it feels when people are being labeled kwere, and I know during the time when there was civil war in Mozambique, people were called Mamosken, some people from Malawi being called Manyasaland, and those xenophobic undertones that people talk about. And it would be very disingenuous for us to say we are arresting these ones, and then when we get our people arrested, then we start to complain that we need one Africa. So our remarks when we talk about one Africa, we must be able to replicate our words with our actions. So when you look at how many foreigners that we have in Zimbabwe, and some of them, they are running wholesalers in Zimbabwe, and you ask yourself, okay, we cohabit with these people, do they have papers? But at the same time, when we are being asked of papers in South Africa, we then complain. So this one Africa, we must be able to clearly define it. How do you want it to happen? Do you want it to be just free for all, or we want it to be done in a systematic way? Yeah,
those were the remarks that a lot of people were coming, especially people, South Africans to be specific. You know how South Africans get sometimes when they get a chance to actually talk about something. So they were making comments under that tweet. I think it was posted by the Herald on X, and you know, they were saying that, you know, like what you were saying, when we're in South Africa and when they start deporting us and they start arresting us, we start crying out xenophobia and something like that. But anyways, it's always good to have your papers documented at the end of the day. If you are staying in a foreign land, I feel like it makes your life and your job and anything that you're doing easier, because you don't need to be hiding to say when they ask for your ID, you start saying, no, or it was lost or something like that. But if you are documented, it makes it easy for you to even move around and be able to actually work and do a lot of things.
Yeah, I think the issue of the African passport, that's when it comes in, that if I just have an African passport, let's have trade freely, but let it have parameters and guidelines. If I can have an African passport, I can be in South Africa, I can be anywhere. There is no need for us to be asking for visa. But let it be our leaders who take the initiative. And I think that our leaders are failing us on that. Or they also make the passport to be cheaper, so that if I want to go to Mozambique, I can go there. And there are not too much restrictions at the border when I have that document. So the documentation must be there, but let's make it cheaper and accessible to everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much for those remarks, Kenan. Wow, that was our daily roundup. My name is Marvelous Dlamini.
And I'm Kenan Rusike, and we'll see you on the morning update tomorrow.
Yeah, make sure that you join us again tomorrow for more trending stories around Harare and just across